What a wild Tuesday night in the NBA last night. I feel like there's so much to talk about. Let's start out with my Bulls. Disappointing game. There's some highs, though. We're obviously still without Kobe White. Giddey sat the game out, and the Bulls still took it to the Spurs. The Spurs are a good basketball team, way more talented than the roster the Bulls had out there last night. If you ranked the top 5 players in that game, Spurs probably had 4 out of the 5. So Bulls, they were able to fight. They were able to scrap. Trey Jones understood the assignment. You saw his aggressiveness level go up a notch. They were winning that game. That's probably a game they should have won, but it's another game, third in a row, where in the fourth quarter, having a superstar matters. Victor Wembanyama in the fourth quarter last night, unreal. No, 10 out of 10, no notes. That was probably the best stretch of basketball he's ever played. 18 points, dominated on both ends. There was nothing the Bulls could do. There's nothing anybody in the NBA can do when Wemby goes off like that. So tip my hat to the Spurs, man. Impressive victory by them. It looked like they were going to lose that game, and then Wembanyama showed everybody he's the future of the NBA. So elsewhere around the NBA, how about that Heat and Cavs game? The buzzer beater that Donovan Mitchell hit in overtime. I don't know how he avoided going out of bounds. I don't know how he turned and faded like that and got nothing but net. Unbelievable. And then on the flip side, I don't know how the Cavs have that inbound defense. The only thing the Heat can do is an alley-oop. They were playing it for a jump shot. You can't catch and shoot a jump shot in 0.4 seconds. At least your odds of doing that are dramatically low. They play it for that. The Heat run the perfect inbounds play. Andrew Wiggins, buzzer beater dunk. They get the win. The Heat are fun this year, man. That offense that they're running, where it's no pick and roll, it's a lot of drive and kick. It's pretty innovative. It's fun to watch this year. Khalil Ware, I had a lot of stock going on him going into the year. Start of the season, disappointing. The last couple games, he's shown why I had so much stock in him. He had a fantastic game last night. There were just crazy games all over the NBA last night, and the big news coming down after another Mavericks loss last night, the fire Nico chants. The Mavs, they finally did it. They fired Nico. Listen, man, I feel for Mavs fans. If you are still a Mavericks fan, shout out to you. You are loyal as shit. You're better than me. I'd have jumped ship after that Luka trade. That Luka trade will go down as the single worst trade in NBA history, even if you decide that you need to move on from Luka Doncic for whatever reason. Keep in mind he's 26, 27 years old, got a long peak ahead of him. Even if you decide that you need to move on from him, you have to get Austin Reeves back in that trade package. You have to get multiple first-round picks back in that trade package. Instead, you get Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis, once upon a time, good basketball player. That time, not around so much anymore. Since that trade, he has played 14 out of 46 games. And that trade was bad when it happened. Hindsight makes it look even worse because everything that has happened to the Mavs ever since, it's like they're cursed. Like I said, Anthony Davis, 14 out of 46 games. Kyrie Irving blows his ACL out. They get lucky. They get Cooper Flagg in the lottery, and Jason Kidd is like, this guy's a point guard, and Cooper Flagg has not lived up to expectations. He is playing much better lately. I'm not selling any stock on Cooper Flagg. He's going to be a future superstar just as soon as they get a different coach in there who stops trying to play him at point guard. But if you're a Mavericks fan, I don't know if firing Nico really does anything for you, because at the end of the day, the owner who signed off on the trade, he's still there. If it was a good, legitimate basketball owner who knew anything about basketball, when that trade was presented to him by Nico Harrison, he'd have fired Nico Harrison on the spot, called the Lakers back, told them to go fuck themselves, and held on to Luka Doncic. So, Mavs fans, take a little victory lap today because you don't got to deal with Nico Harrison anymore, but I don't know that it gets much better for you guys going forward. So, before I go, I can't believe I didn't talk about this. Let's talk about Cade Cunningham, man. People are getting on Cade Cunningham because he missed, 45 shots last night? I feel like you guys didn't watch the basketball game. I feel like you're just stat watching if you came away from that game with any negative Cade Cunningham takes, because he had to play that way. They had nothing. They were on the second half of a back-to-back. Nobody on the team. A lot of guys on the team didn't even play, and the ones that did play, they didn't have any energy. Cade had to be the creator of everything. He had to will that team to a victory. So I take nothing away from Cade. Sometimes it's going to be like that, where you got to generate the entire offense, and there are very few players in the NBA who could generate an entire offense the way Cade did. That kid's a superstar. I came away from that game more impressed by Cade. So if you're just stat watching and you're looking at the missed shots and the efficiency, you just don't understand basketball, man. At the end of the day, he did what he had to do to get that win. So shout out to Cade Cunningham, one of my favorite players in the NBA to watch. He is ascending at a superstar level, and the Pistons are for real, guys. They've only lost 2 games this year. They are for real. They are legitimate contenders in the East this year, and they got room to make some big moves to get another piece that gets them over the top. If Ivy comes back and he's that secondary ball creator, that's going to be great. If Ivy comes back and he just doesn't have it anymore, they can easily package him, Tobias Harris, maybe some draft picks. They can get a big piece if they want to. So keep paying attention to the Pistons, guys. They're going to be legit in the Eastern Conference this year.